Now, I'm going to go into some special gimmicks. Both of them have special gimmicks. Anyway, Jetstorm's special gimmick, on the show he used this mode all the time. He had a flight mode rather than a traditional walking mode. You can build his flight mode by folding the heels in, pegging the legs together like so they fit under there, and then you can fold out these pieces here in order to reveal hover engines for him to hover. Now, for play value, he doesn't really stand that well using this. You can kind of stand him if you pose him like so. You can kind of stand him on a shelf. But still, this mode, I really like him better in this mode simply because he looks a lot more like he does on the show, and he's also got very short legs, which, since he's got the giant crotch plate here, the legs look especially short on him. And he looks a lot better when posed like this. I'm just going to put him off to the side. And as for Jetfire, he's got a bit of a super mode of sorts, as shown by all the armor I took off. You can take the gun, make his main gun here, by combining these two gun halves, which were on his fists, and you can clip them in. I believe this is similar to his G1 gun. He's got these missile launchers as well. I still need to grab the other missile. I don't know where it went off to, but you clip the guns in like this. There's a hole. They're very well clipped. It's some sort of ratcheted clip here, so they actually ratchet when you put them in. They don't spin around on their own accord. These are actually really well secured missile launchers. They're not going to come out that easily, and they are not going to just turn willy-nilly and misalign themselves. Next, we're going to go with the big booster pack on his back, and which clips on like this, and you can fold down the guns like so. You can store them up even still. That's still an option, but you can also clip the guns here. And finally, as shown when I took it off, he also has his helmet, which is very much like the Jetfire toy rather than the animation model. Gives him the visor and faceplate. Now, what is very cool about this design here for the visor is though the light piping actually still works in theory, but even if it doesn't work, it still looks really good because the light piping here is backed by white plastic, so the lights show up, so the eyes show up really, really, really well. It creates a very cool visor effect, because the way that it's lined up is it lines up with his brow up here. So that way you get a full-on visor. Much better than if they painted it, I think. It looks a lot better. Anyway, so that's Jetfire with all of his weapons out. They've got full posability. The only issue with Jetfire posability-wise is the backpack, in that he can sometimes get a bit back-heavy depending on how you're posing him. Anyway, Jetstorm was a deluxe and Jetfire was a Voyager, but if we do a quick scale comparison, I'm just going to bring the legs out again so that I can actually stand him for a comparison. You can see that Jetstorm is definitely a lot shorter than Jetfire is. And just to do some more modern comparisons, here they are next to Universe Ironhide. As you can see, deluxe size hasn't really changed much at all in years. They're pretty much the same height. Price point hasn't really changed either, which is also a benefit, although it's gone up in the States recently. And to put Jetstorm next to his boss, here he is next to Beast Wars Megatron. It's not Beast Machine's Megatron, though I do have a Megabolt, who is also up on my video reviews, as is this Megatron. But as you can see, he's a Beast Wars era Ultra, and they're pretty close and they're pretty comparable size-wise. Anyway, that's my review of the unofficial twins, so to speak. I hope to have Jetstorm and Jetfire from Animated tomorrow. I figured I'd do this review first for fun, just because then I've got the original iterations of the characters to compare them with on the record. I'm probably going to do a comparison with those guys there. As a final review, as toys, this deluxe, these are both very good toys. These two versions of the characters are very good. I don't have the Ultra, so I can't speak for that, for Jetstorm. But the Deluxe is a very, very good mold. It's been repainted a couple of times, and it is still one of the best jet molds out there. I honestly hope that Universe Cyclonus ends up getting some sort of repaint with a new head as Jetstorm, because their jet modes look very similar. And also the Ultra Jetstorm was actually repainted as Cyclonus for a BotCon. As well, Jetfire is also an awesome toy, simply because the dude is armed to the teeth. He's got guns there, he's got guns here, he's got gun here, he's got guns here, he's very posable, he's a walking armory, which is a bit ironic given that he's a scientist in the IDW books, and he is like one of the best figures to come out of the Classics line. A very good figure, a must-get if you can get your hands on him. Even if you can get your hands on the BotCon version of him as Dreadwind. That is also a very good version of the figure. It's got a new head, but otherwise it's all the same. It's got all the same accessories, only it's a different Decepticon. Anyway, so that's my 2 cents on the 2 Jet Twins. Hopefully I recommend these guys wholeheartedly as classic toys. Jetstorm even holds up pretty well to the modern guys because he's not too overly reliant on ball joints like some of the early Beast Wars figures, and he's very posable. This is General Techno, signing off.